Hey boys and girls, M13 here. This is probably going to be my... I'm just being silly. This is probably going to be my first video with my new GoPro. I actually swapped it for a new one. And then I got home and I checked the video on my computer and it was still stuttering, but I uploaded it to YouTube and it didn't seem to stutter on YouTube, so I don't know. I think one of the problems is the fact that it has such it has a lot of optical stabilization, which I think can actually sometimes make things worse, because with all the high speedness you haven't, because I was thinking maybe it's just not compatible with high speed motorcycles, but then I'm like, well, what the heck, it's an action cam, of course it's all about the high speed. So yeah, I know I'm not wearing a jacket. That's because I'm not going for a real ride. I'm just I know accidents can happen anywhere. All I'm doing is taking my bike to the shop. That's it. I'm just going to the shop, and then I'm going to swap it for one of my scooters, because I have some renters that are coming today, and I told them I'd lend them a vehicle. Yeah, so I got one guy renting a room off of me, and he's actually, he's not using the room anymore. He rented one of my scooters, and he's using that to go touring around the country by himself. And then originally he was supposed to tour do a 3-4 day tour with me, leading him. That way he could get used to riding in the country before he went off by himself. But the dates didn't work out. He arrived during a 4-day long weekend, so all the hotels I tried to book were already all full, so we couldn't travel together. So instead he just kind of went to less touristy areas by himself where there were still rooms available, and then when he's finished traveling by himself, he's going to come back, and then I'm going to lead him on a tour, which is a bit silly, because after him traveling the country by himself, he's obviously going to be capable enough to do it on his own, but he doesn't know the roads, he doesn't know the places to check out, etc. That's the thing, you could always go to a country and just tour by yourself and find things by yourself, and you can there's so many apps nowadays that'll let you know where the good spots to visit are, but you're always going to be wasting a lot of time, and if you've only got a week in a country, wouldn't it be nice just to see all the best things in that week? If you only gave someone, if you came to Taiwan and you had 10 days, I say the word too much and I apologize. If you had 10 days to explore Taiwan, sure, you're going to see some cool stuff. What is going on here? You're going to see some cool stuff, but you're just going to see the things that you can find on TripAdvisor or whichever app you use, and then you're going to tell your phone or your GPS to take you from one to another, and it's just going to do the most direct route, which is almost always not going to be the nicest route, especially when because the most direct route is just going to be main roads that connect those two things, and those aren't going to be the most scenic roads. Look at this road right here. Look at this road. This is nice. This is a nice road, and in no way, shape, or form would my GPS ever tell me to take this road from my house to the bike shop. But I compare. I got a GPS on my main vehicle, and I use it all the time, and I'll take different ways to get to places. I'll mix it up. If I'm going to the bike shop, I'll take one way there, and then the next time I'll take a different way, and the next time I'll take a different way, and I'll look. I time myself every time I go someplace. I'll be okay, if I take the GPS route, it takes 15 minutes. What happens if I take this road over here? How many minutes does that add or subtract? And it's never very much, all these different alternate routes that I take generally only add on a minute. So it's for one extra minute, of course I'm going to take the more beautiful, slower route. And then that's one of the things you get with a tour guide. It's going to be it's going to be nothing but beautiful roads. We're not going to do traffic and whatnot like this, or as little as possible. Anyways, you're guaranteed with me as a tour guide to do as much beautiful roads as possible. And a lot of those roads are like roads that a GPS would never ever suggest, and they don't add much time. Yeah, and then on top of that, of course I know many different spots to take rests. Like if you're doing it by yourself, you might be riding for an hour and then get tired and then see somewhere like a rest stop or whatever and be like, okay, I'm gonna pull in here and rest. But what you don't know is just 5 minutes past that rest stop is something that's like much nicer. So you're gonna stop at that rest stop, you're gonna rest, and then you're gonna start riding again, and then 5 minutes later you're gonna see something that's nicer, but you're gonna be like, oh, I just stopped 5 minutes ago, you know, I just stopped a few minutes ago, I'm not gonna stop again because I got, you know, you got time. So it's just about it's just a matter of like maximizing your fun with a tour guide, and then it also takes a lot of stress off you, because when you got someone riding in front of you, it's so much less tiring. I've explained this before in other videos. People don't realize when you're like, even if you just got like 3 guys that are riding together, the guy that's riding in the front it's twice as tiring at least for the guy that's in front than for the other two, because the other 2 guys, they can turn their brains off. They can start just daydreaming or thinking about what they're going to eat or whatever it is people think about. And then the guy in front, he can't do that. He has to like focus on each corner and on everything. Because on a motorcycle, as you're entering, when you're on curvy mountain roads, every curve you got to kind of pick a speed that's not too fast. Like generally you're trying to go quick, so you're trying to pick a fast speed, but if you pick too fast of a speed, well then you go off the road and crash. But the guys that are following, they don't pick speeds, they just match yours, so you're the one that has to make all the difficult decisions, and the guys behind you just follow your lead. The perfect example of that was, I was riding one time cross country, and I had a friend of mine that was, okay lady, if you're gonna turn left, you should be already on the left, you don't just, yeah. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, like there was an example where I was doing cross-country ride with my friend, and it was like nighttime, and I'm doing these dangerous mountain roads at night. It's stressful, it's tiring, and I was spent. I could not ride another. I was like, we need to get a hotel here, and he's like, no, it's only another hour or 2, and I'm like, I can't ride another hour or 2. I'm done. I need to stop. And he's like, well, how about if I take the lead? And I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll try that. He took the lead. I could have ridden for another 4 hours. Like, with me in the lead, I couldn't have done another hour. But just by him taking the lead, I could have ridden for another 3, 4. I was fine. My brain just shut off. I was able to get the rest I needed, because I didn't have to think about is there a corner coming up ahead. All I had to do was make sure that his tail light was in front of me and match the speed of it, and then that's it. You know, it's really, yeah. So what was the point of all this? I don't know. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, just that with him, yeah. So it'll be a very different experience for him, because with him riding by himself, he has to focus 90% on the road and then 10% on the scenery, etc. But once I take the lead, it'll kind of reverse itself. Then it'll be like he only has to watch the road like 30%, and then 70% he can look around, watch the scenery, whatnot, because he can be checking out the scenery, and as long as peripheral sees that my tail light is, a half a block ahead of him, then he knows he's good. And if my peripheral, if he's looking at the scenery and in his peripheral my tail light kind of disappears, then he can focus back and, oh, it disappeared because I went around a corner, and then now he knows the corner's coming up. Or if my tail light starts getting bigger, oh, I must be braking. So then he looks back and he brakes. Yeah, I'm over explaining. I have a tendency of doing that. So it is October. Happy Halloween. And I'm not going to spend Halloween with my son because I got a tour. I actually booked my tour for the week of Halloween. I think the reason I did that was because last October we had really good weather around that time. I was joking. I'm just doing little baby wheelies. I haven't ridden my bike in a while. Yeah, it's so funny. Every time I go a couple of months without riding my motorcycle, and then I get on it, and it's like, oh, I haven't ridden in a couple of months. I should take it easy, and I just totally don't take it easy because I haven't ridden it in a while. So I'm just like, woohoo, and I just fly around. So I own this motorcycle, and sometimes I go 2 months without riding it. Yeah, actually, I ride this bike on average once every 6 weeks, I'd say. About once every month and a half, I'll ride it once. Why is that? It's because I love my Yamaha Force 155. It's less stressful, more enjoyable. It's just a pleasure to ride. Okay, we're going to the bike shop over on the left here, the Kawasaki / Yamaha dealership. Trying to do a wheelie in front of their shop. It actually worked, turned out okay. Well, where are you going, buddy? It's actually a red light. You're not allowed to turn left, asshole. See, I was going to cut in front of that car because I'm making a U-turn, but he ran the light. Went straight. This doesn't work. I can't even get in there, I can't even get in. Some asshole is... Actually, do I want to go in? I don't really need to go in. I'm probably just going to park it in the basement. But what kind of a piece of shit parks his bike like that? Look at, he's literally... That's the entranceway to the shop. That's where you go in to get your bike. And he parked blocking the whole thing. Like, these bikes lined up, they're fine. And then this one asshole just pulls in and blocks the entire entranceway. Give me a second, I'll go call him out.